So, hello, my friends. Dennis here, and this is my first interview this year. And I have today great musicians and Jane-Ann and Marcus, sorry, from Avatarium. Hello, guys. How are you? How was your day so far?
Yeah.
Hello. It's been a good day today, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Where we're trying to get daily, a daily life working as the same time as we do a lot of promotion for the album and interviews and
Hmm.
all these things. And we had a release party last week, so there's a lot of things been going on. So we're happy but a little bit tired. So
Okay.
Good way.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's great to meet you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Okay. Great to meet you too, guys. You are in Stockholm, right? How is the winter there? Real with snow? Because here in
Oh,
Germany we have 9 degrees today with a sunny day, and so.
Oh,
no
good for
sun. We
you.
have fog. It's like a little more Mordor style.
Yes. There's a lot of
Dark clouds and
dark
fog
and
and
gravel on the streets, and it's Stockholm winter.
yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah.
Okay, great.
Stockholm weather can be, it's like some days it's snowstorm and next day it's like this. You never know.
So people spend a lot of time talking about it, such as we do now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay, the main topic of our interview is your new record that was released last Friday. By the way, congratulations, it's great. Um, are you satisfied with the reactions to the album from fans and the press?
Yeah, really. It's been almost overwhelming, I would say. So many fantastic reviews and so many nice comments from people on the social medias and mails and so it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic.
We're on a lot of the big lists, the big magazines, and album of the month, and all these kind of things. And today we got this Rolling Stone France album of the week. I think also in France and Rock Hard in France. It was my album
Yeah.
of the month. So it's
Yeah.
and a lot of the big German magazines, of course, as well. So we're extremely grateful and happy about it. There's so many bands that release albums, and when I see all the albums that's being released
Yeah.
this month, I'm like, wow,
Yeah,
wow,
it's amazing that
we get this response
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and
yeah.
people highlight what we do. It's fantastic. So we want to say
everyone.
thank you to everyone who
Yeah.
helps us with this.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, cool, cool. Okay. 3 years ago, when I heard that Warriors thing, I thought you would not be able to top it, but you did. And I think it's not only me who thinks this is your best record until yet so far. Tell me, what did you do differently this time, and what do you see as the main difference compared to the previous record or records?
Always hard to answer these
Mm-hmm.
questions because you don't know, but you can see. I think the two of us has learned to cooperate even better, and then I said recently now that we kind of walk together, and we have. I think we have a good way of being creative together. With we can be. We both want what's best for the song, and to be able to do that, we have to drop our egos and all this kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and we kind of found a way where we
And I
we
think
can
that
move forward and without being upset or mean
and
to
I
each
think
other.
that demands that I mean you and obviously that is the case, growing as both musicians and as individuals, but also as a songwriting team that requires experience. I mean, this is the third album that we write the most of the material together. So I think we've carved out a way to do this, and you can hear that probably also in the
Yeah.
music.
Hopefully.
But also this is the sort of the outcome of all that we are, what we experience in life and where we are in life. So it's also a sort of time document.
Mhm.
It's great. It's a great thing to have.
Yeah, and then the creative procedure is extremely interesting. I've been, I think both of us has been very interested in it and how to learn to be creative in a good way. So and hopefully it paid out on this album.
Yeah.
It seems like people like it, and that's fantastic. I'm actually, I also like it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it.
And last week we had a release show here in Stockholm, and so that was the first time that we played 5 songs live, and we immediately felt that this is so natural for the live scene, and it sort of fits perfectly to just translate these songs from the album to the live stage.
Yeah.
So that surprisingly easy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because always when you start to rehearse new songs, it's like most of the times it's hard to make them, work in a 5-people band.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of arrangements, a lot of things going on, and this time it was surprisingly easy.
Natural and easy. So and also surprising with the amount of energy that you feel from music. It's just there.
Okay. To me, the new album sounds very fresh and different, yet I can still 100% Avatarium. Also, for me, it is your most emotional album. Would you agree with it?
Yeah, maybe. It might be very emotional. I think we always try to put emotions in music, but
that is I mean that is what music is. Music is emotions. And that is what music does. So I mean if it doesn't do that, it's probably not music. So that's just what it is. But and we many times we talk about, of course, we use our own experiences and all our knowledge in music, and this is we have that. We're fortunate to have this way to express ourselves, but that doesn't mean that I'm overwhelmingly emotional when I write music. I just write the music, and I talk about things that occupy my mind, and then it transforms into something that others can share and feel emotional about. So I think that is a difference.
Yeah, but I think if you have a lot of heart, if you're true to yourself and listen and use your heart and to be honest, it's like, is this music the best I can do? Is this what we want to achieve? Do we achieve what we want, with the music? If you're true to yourself and have a lot of heart, in that sense, probably gets emotion. Even though we're not extremely emotional, maybe when we're writing, but something moves you, something is like, okay, but it can also be like, it can be, say, just like you learn how to find that, learn to understand when it's real, I would say, and then okay, this feels good, it's real. Let's move on. Let's
keep
do
this and move on. Yeah.
And then some other things. Okay, this is too. It's not, not good enough. So I think being honest and with yourself and listen to what the gut feeling and the heart says.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then it gets emotion, probably.
Okay, yeah. Before we dive into the songs, and could you tell something about the album cover? I see all familiar Avatarium symbols there.
Hmm?
The circle, the skull, the raven, the letter A. What's the story about it?
Well, I just I had these different ideas, and we worked together with Erik Rovanperä, who's been doing our artwork since the first album. I think he's done 4 albums with us now. So, and he's a great creative artist, and you can tell him all your crazy ideas, and he will take them back to his working place and come back with these gorgeous sort of interpretations of what you just told me. So I had this idea of I felt like doing a royal blue color for this album, and I think it worked out very nicely. And and we talked at that time. I think we played him a song that was ready, and we talked about the vision of this album, and so.
And we want to have the piano.
The piano is very central.
The piano should be in the picture,
Mhm.
So we gave him some very rough ideas, and then came up with
Yeah,
first suggestion, and that was already cool, and then we kind of
yeah. Talked it through and had some ideas that we sent back and forth. So
Yeah.
so and when I this the album, the vinyl first arrived and I got to open it, it's this lovely, this is thick cardboard that's printed with silver, and it, besides from being gorgeous, it's also a tactile experience. You can feel the album when you touch
Yeah.
it. It's like
it turned out
heavy.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Both,
Yeah.
especially the vinyl, but also the
Mhm.
yearbook and
Yeah.
the CD, and
Yeah.
it's so we're I'm so happy that a record label really didn't cut any corners, and with because sometimes record labels do, and they really listen to us and put in the extra money or whatever to make a beautiful cover. So that was fantastic.
Great quality.
Yeah, and that's one of the fun thing with working with this kind of music is the vinyl format for us. We really since the beginning that's been what we've been doing. It's a great way to create music, because I think that's the format of vinyl, like 43, 44 minutes. That's perfect length for an album, and also you when you switch sides, so it's fun, and you also can watch the camera, you can read stuff. It makes it fun.
Yeah, it's creative and fun, and also I think it's you can wrap your mind around this format, and and build a great dynamic wholeness in the vinyl. So we've learned to work in this format, and I think it's
really
I really love doing it.
And that was because it was fun, because when we did the first album, and I haven't been listening to vinyl for a long time, and then lately I think it was like, yeah, and then side A and side B, I was like, okay, that's cool, okay, that's and since then that's how we've been thinking. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, it looks very fantastic. Yeah. Um, you have also chosen a remarkable title for the album. Can you say something about that? Between you, God, the devil, and the dead, it sounds great.
Well, yes, it's the title track, and so we like the sound of it first, foremost, and then also I think it opens up for free association. You can imagine all these different things that might be in between you, God, what whatever the devil is, and those who have gone before. So I think it's of course a poetic title, but so it's a bit long, of course, and I was expecting the people to object more to it, but it seems like people take it to their hearts and like it. Yeah.
Yeah, brings out creativity, I think. And
yeah.
I've been saying this a few times now. I think it's true that we want the listeners to also be creative. Because it's fun. It's also fun when you have titles and you have lyrics like the ones you do that can start get the imagination going. So that also makes it more fun.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. My favorite track on this at the moment is Lovers Give a Kingdom to Each Other. Acoustic guitar solo and the lyrics, it's amazing. Can you say a little bit about this track? Is it a love song?
You want to go first? No, actually, I can start. It was no, Marcus had this idea, and it was actually the I think it was the guitars, and in the verse it was he came up with the verse, uh, and when I listened to that, I remember thinking that this could be an instrumental track. It doesn't need any vocals. I think I thought that as well then, and I think so now as well. Yeah, but it turned out pretty well with the vocals.
I would say it has also this like a little psychedelic like doors flying, and also has this kind of Spanish guitars in the verse, and so it's like a mixture of a lot of stuff that I love, from Neil Young to Crosby, Stills and Nash to whatever, like the psychedelic stuff, and I think the lyric is beautiful. It's a beautiful lyric. And it's also one of my favorites. I'm glad you mentioned that.
But it could be a love song, or it could be. I mean, it's quite abstract, but it can also be. The fact that it's most of us are or many of us are scared of opening up or letting someone see what's really going on there inside of you or around you. Getting close to another human being is sometimes complicated, but the heart wants what the heart wants, and so there are many, of course, many love songs dealing with that topic, and that was being afraid of that is human. It was interesting for me just to dive into that and write a song.
If you say lovers give a kingdom to each other, the kingdom is love. Maybe.
Yeah, yes, it can be, and then it's also a world of experiences or different sides to you that you may lie or may not lie. So it's a kingdom of all these things that you are introduced into, and that can be scary, and that can also contain things that are not love and destructive and scary and all of that. So yeah.
Okay, cool.
But the heart wants what the heart wants, and sometimes you just have to dive into it. No matter what, you have to follow the heart and just.
Okay, okay. Another incredible track is Until Forever and Again with this powerful riff and with also the lyrics include the German word Nachträglichkeit. Can you tell something about that song?
Well, I think there's quite much to talk about in that song because it is we noticed that when we rehearsed it that it maybe quite unintentional. It's a bit more complex. It has these various or different parts that we manage to fit or blend into each other I think, a great way. I'm thinking about how the verse evolves into the bridge, and which is not actually, it's not supernatural, but with the vocals on it that ties it together, it feels natural. But rehearsing it was like, whoa, this is, and then it has this classic doom, sort of cliffhanger where um, it's sort of there's a tempo shift in tempo, and I just do that leap. And so as a composition, it's classic doom, but a little bit more complicated. And I don't know if you have any thoughts about how we've got that to work together.
It's one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
It started out as we wanted to do an up-tempo Paranoid song, and it was quite a
I've
failure.
forgotten about that.
Quite a failure. But it became we had the verse that is in 3/4, and we had it was first in 4/4 the rhythm. So and then I was like, well, what if we change it to 3/4? And no, it's just things that happens. And I actually listened quite much to the first Michael Schenker album, the vinyl. Yeah, I think you can hear that on, actually, if you want, on both the songs you mentioned. You can hear that because the acoustic guitars on Love's Give Kingdom has also the influence from the album. So you never know what we listen to a lot of music and we get ideas from music. That's how it can be. We have a verse and then it's like you just listen to something the other day that you like, and then you kind of get inspired by that, and that can sound totally different, but it can be such an idea as like, what if this is 3/4 instead of 4/4? This, and then these kind of things can change, the path the song takes and all this kind of things. So, but I love that song. It's also a tribute. The heavy riff is typical Leif Edling land, I would say. And but I think I managed to do it a little bit in my own way. So, but it's totally.
There's
totally Leif Edling.
Yeah, there's definitely an homage, and I think about how we arrange the vocals and the verse as well. It has its overdubs, and that brings us back to our first album in Bone Flower, where I did multiple overdubs on those verses. So we used things that would, so that is a small homage, but it's and lyrical wise, I mean it's definitely a theme of overcoming your anxieties and fear, and dealing with them for the last time. This is the end, until forever and again. So until forever and again. So and I work a lot with that that type of difficulty. I mean, to overcome fears and anxiety.
Yeah, that's what we have to do.
And yeah, important. And I mean,
extremely
writing music and performing is all about that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Become your anxieties.
Yeah, fear can be so. It just keeps us down. We should do everything to not be scared. It's not, nothing good comes out of that, I would say.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe a question for Jennie-Ann. Avatarium's lyrics are always deep, and you have always to think about it. How does your work as a psychotherapist influence you as a musician and your lyrics? You hear an incredible number of stories, I think, in your job.
Mhm. Well, of course, there are general or common topics that occupy my mind, but I think music came first in my life. Been I've been a musician longer than I've been a therapist, or so it's um, and for me, I think uh, I grew up being a quite philosophical child. I was, this odd kid who, I don't think it wasn't morbid, or it wasn't, romanticizing about death, but always been very, very curious about how people handle loss and grief, and, uh, and occupied with what might happen after we die. So it's as long as I can remember, I've been interested in these topics, these existential topics of meaning. What's the meaning of us being here? Why are we lonely? And what happens when we die? And so on. So I think it's a very natural interest for me.
You were meant to be a doom singer.
And who knew? Oh, I mean, it's such a natural fit. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's so we've been talking about this, but this is so perfect environment for us, to be in musical, because you can work with lyrics and music together, and we both love classic music as well, and when you listen to Beethoven's symphonies, for example, you have all this dynamic. It can be so tender and fragile and beautiful, and then it can be like boom, the big drums and trumpets,
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Yeah.
that's, I always love that with classical music.
And also, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I also think that uh, the combination of these really serious topics, existential topics, and not shying away from them, being able to be in the company of these difficult questions on one side, and on the other side also to write music that is filled with hope and light. Because I think, and that if it's one thing I feel as a psychotherapist, is that I truly and deeply believe in the necessity of the hard